I'm a money magnet, draped in designer, I stay high fashion. Chris, you bougie, know I'm high maintenance.
John Paul Gaultier, Lamar, and Paco Rabanne's 1 million. Now, these are two very, very classic fragrances, okay? This fragrance released almost 20 years ago. Like, we at 16 years now, almost released 20 years ago. This fragrance right here released like 30 years ago, okay? So a whole generation wore this fragrance. And I do want to do like a little comparison, because these are and was one of the best clubbing fragrances. Like, if you was going to the club, you wanted to pick you up some honeys, you wanted to get some love, some rub-a-dub love from the females, these was everybody's go-to. But from my experience of wearing these so far, these are synonymous with like men who treat women bad, you know, just taking women home and selling them a dream. So I always be a little reluctant on wearing these two fragrances because I know the reputation they have. Now, if we gonna talk about John Paul Gaultier Lamar, this has been reformulated maybe like 4 different times. So it's not gonna be as strong as it used to be when it released back in like 1995, okay? But it still have that same DNA when it comes to like that minty, sweet, fresh that this fragrance has. Now, I used to not be a fan of this because I really used to not like the opening. But once I bought this batch and I let it settle and dry down just a little bit more and marinate for like a year, I finally start coming around to it. So I kind of like this bottle. And you know, this was the fragrance that kick-started the whole Lamel line. Like, it's really a classic, it's legendary. And it is a compliment porter. Like, women do like this scent. And I like that it's one of them club scents that's very masculine. I really like this. But when it comes to this Paco, now 1 million, people can say they don't like it. That's what a lot of people say nowadays. They say they don't like 1 million. Or they say 1 million is old, or they say it's too sweet, or they say it's bubble gummy. And I get that. But when this fragrance released, this was like the first fragrance to kickstart the whole bubble gummy sweet fragrances, like the clubbing fragrances. This released before John Paul Gaultier's Ultramar. And I think Ultramar really was trying to rival 1 million, because once 1 million dropped, it became legendary. Everybody was wearing 1 million. But what I'm realizing is 1 million was really popular overseas. Okay, like if you was from Europe, if you are from Australia, more over there in like the United Kingdom area, you smelt 1 million a lot, especially in the club scene. But in America, our club scene, we don't really wear sweet fragrances when we going out to the club. When we going out to the club, we wear things like Dior Sauvage, Blue Chanel. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to tell you that 1 million is still one of the great scents to wear, because like I said, like a lot of people don't wear a sweet fragrance to go out. But these two fragrances are like dated, in my opinion, especially if you're overseas. So for my overseas guys, instead of wearing like the original Lamar, just grab you the Lamar Elixir. Okay, so throw this away or put this in your cabinet and just wear Lamar Elixir, because Lamar Elixir is everything that this was back in 1995. Like Lamar Elixir, in my opinion, I think this is the 1995 concentration of the original Lamar. They just like lowered this concentration and just finally just put it in a newer bottle and repackage it. But this is how this used to smell. So If you are in the United Kingdom and you are in like you are overseas, put this on instead. Now, if you like 1 million and you from the United Kingdom, just pick up you 1 million Royal. This fragrance right here, legendary too. Now, 1 million was never known for the drawdown, in my opinion. It's really known for the opening. So when you use the word as fragrance, you might want to keep reapplying it to get that opening bubblegummy smell, right? When it comes to Royal, you might not like the opening, but the drawdown is where it's at. Like, I remember going to Home Depot with this fragrance, and one of the ladies that was the cashier stopped me in my tracks when I was just trying to get some wood and asked me, what did I have on? And she asked me for the name, but I kind of knew she wasn't gonna memorize the name from just me saying it. So when I went back up there to pick up these doors, I gave her a little decan because she was just working there as well. So I just bring a little decan just in case I see her. I gave her the decan and she was so happy. And she was a woman. I don't even know if she knew that that this fragrance came out in the women's version, but she loved the man's version as well. And I realized any fragrance that's for men that a woman like and that a woman will wear is basically like a stamp of approval, especially if a woman is gonna wear it. Just like how my woman always wears not John Paul, but how she always wears Latifah Camera. Like, look at my bottle. I wore it like 4 times. She wear it all the time. And she spray like 20 sprays on. She's using it all up. But yeah, great alternatives for 1 million and Jean Paul Gaultier Lamar is Royal and Elixir. These are the new versions. Okay, so you kind of want to get updated. Instead of wearing you some 20-year-old cologne, go ahead and pick you up the new stuff. But I don't want to say that these two are bad. It's just some stuff out here that's a little better. If I was going to pin these up against each other to tell y'all like which one is better, I would honestly say 1 million is better because the 1 million hasn't been reformulated as much as Lamar. Like, this has been reformulated into the ground. Like, this is basically just like a failed interpretation of what it used to be, you know. But 1 million is still kind of 1 million. Okay, very sweet fragrances, very lovey-dovey fragrances, and I can actually tell you a story about 1 million. Like, I got 1 million because my friend D had 1 million parfum, and when I went to the store to pick up his fragrance, I realized that there was different like versions of fragrances. That's before I even knew what a flanker was. I just went to the store, I seen a gold bottle and thought this was what he had until I bought this, and I was like, he told me, he was like, that's not the one I got, bro. And I'm like, damn, bro, so it's different versions. And that's kind of what kickstarted even me collecting a whole bunch of fragrances, picking up the parfum, and then realizing they got another version called Lucky. And then around that time, Privé wasn't discontinued yet, so I picked up Privé, and I just start collecting all these fragrances. Jean Paul Gaultier, I always heard about this, but I don't know, for some reason, I think I just never liked it, the longevity of the Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances. Like, they just never lasted a long time for me, so I never really was a big fan. You know what I mean? But I used to love the bottle design. Like, the bottle design looked great, but like I said, the longevity wasn't there for me. And I also didn't like the smell as much as 1 million. Like, I did not like the minty spearmint. Like, it's like a sweet gummy spearmint smelling fragrance, like a fresh spearmint. And I just couldn't imagine women loving a spearmint smelling fragrance. Okay, so like I said, 1 million is my favorite. I feel like this one forever will always beat out Lamar. Ask 100 women, I think they all gonna say 1 million. And only one of them might say Lamar just to be different. But yeah, 1 million is better. But like I said, if you want the upgraded versions, pick up the new ones. And that's that, man. Let me know which one out of these is your favorite. And tell me your story about Lamar. Still a great fragrance. Love y'all. I'm Big Boss. I'm out.